Hello, Boris Pravisham here. Welcome back to the Nidd Whitelist server. I am stuck. That up there is Space Vegas. Oh, there's a stutter. 3.5k away. And you may think that's not much of a problem. However, right now, there are some odd sim speed problems. We've been trying to fix them, but right now it's just going up and down, up and down. It seems to get to about 0.5. And see, I'll fly forward. All's good. All seems to be fine. See, 30, 40 meters. Oh no, we're back to 2. It has taken me 45 minutes now to fly 3k. I originally flew 3k out there, another 3k past out to that GPS point, which I'll talk about later. And then I turned around and decided to fly back because it wasn't worth it. Flying there at 85k at 2 meters a second is not going to work. So Sal is coming to rescue me in a ship capable of with a jump drive, and hopefully she'll be able to take me over to that halfway point, or at least somewhere a lot closer than 86k. So right now I'm trying to head back, but it's not a fast process. Yep, there we go, 3 meters a second again. And there's nothing I can do to stop it. Like coasting, anything, it'll just reset it. Whenever the server speed suddenly decides it really wants to be 0.02 for, a fraction of a second. Now we've got a decent run here. So we can just up the speed a bit. But yeah, Sal will come out to get me and take me to that halfway point, and once I'm there, I'll explain what it is. Sal's here! I already said that Sal was coming to rescue me, so you'll have to do your Sal voice. Sorry, I didn't tell you before we started.
Oh, Jesus, God, let me Christ! Fine, I'm Sal. Just because the real Sal can drive, the imposter one has to be... No, wait, I'm the real Sal. Yeah, there you go. What do you need to do?
Merge and then jump? That's apparently what we're doing. Oh yeah, I'll give you the GPS locations. I think I've sent them already.
Oh, it's alright, I've already got that.
Okay. Whoa. Oh, no, it's desync. It looked like you were just about to smack into my ship at a very high speed, and then it reset itself. So that's good.
So what do you call it when? So I know when one person has multiple personalities, that's multiple personality disorder. But what if you have two people that have the same identity? Is that like
twins?
Doppelgangers.
Hang on, so someone that has multiple personalities, but all of the personalities are the same. Is that what you're talking about?
Same?
No. Multiple people that believe they're the same person.
Oh my God, that's interesting.
There may or may not be things that are happening.
There goes the explosion.
Gaming world that made me think of that.
Oh, what exploded?
Don't worry, we still have another merge block to try.
Oh yeah, that's right. Do you want me to spin, or are you going round?
Me is going
round. Okay. That's right. We've used one of the 3 merge blocks.
Nice. Good redundancy built in there. I knocked my spotlight off.
Single personality reorder?
I think you've just made something new there.
I can't believe you're still working on that. Message received.
I want you to find
catch up with you very suddenly.
2 people that think they're the same person.
Well, we've already found them.
Oh yeah, true. Single person reorder.
Hang on.
Single personality reorder.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Well, what's the opposite of disorder?
Find it.
In order?
In order.
There we go. Right, it looks like I'm in control of all this, so I'll hop out and hop into a passenger seat. Do you have the halfway
just
point?
stay there. I'm pretty
too late.
sure I can operate it. Right, fine.
And
There
yes,
you
it
go.
does
I'm in a
have
passenger seat.
the half go to halfway point on the jump drive?
But don't go exactly there. That's in the middle of an asteroid. You'll have to jump that 90k.
Well, the jump drives won't do that anyway.
But just beside
they'll
it.
stop you.
What's all this blue light? What's going on? Why is it so light in here? What was that? That was bizarre. Everything went blue.
Okay. Make sure you're in your ship because Mia's about to jump.
Yeah, I am. Did you just use the GPS and then add a few hundred meters to one of the axes?
Sure.
Or are we guessing?
We're jumping.
What could
Trust
possibly
me.
go wrong?
I've got a very elongated
engineering.
planet on my screen. I'm not there yet. It seems to be stuck. I'm here.
There we
did that last
go.
time.
1 kilometer away. Is that fine enough?
It'll have to be. Where's halfway? Where is it? Down over there. Okay, actually went a bit too far. Thank you. I'm about to die because I'm out of oxygen. But I'll.
Do I need to unmerge now, or?
Sure. Oh, whoa! Why is it moving? Oh, why is it?
moving.
Why I'm in it? I'm dead.
You could have warned me a little, you know. Back to Space Vegas.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Don't forget to bring some oxygen, please.
I had oxygen. It was just in the cargo container, so I had to get out, get it, and then I died.
I thought I'd quickly, run over to that weird thing, Why don't you sort your list alphabetically? No, you just need to have a ton of thing.
Oh my god.
There's sense in it there. Why is that not alphabetical?
I don't know.
Okay, bet it's done by distance or something.
No, it's not.
Well, all those X's.
By the time it was added to the thing.
Oh, okay.
There you go, Space Vegas. We're on our way. As in we, I mean me, Sal.
You're just helping me define this new syndrome that I'm.
I know, it's good, I like it. Yeah.
Whoa! Why am I getting the warp animation thing? My screen is warped. Oh wow! I have a field of view that is like a fly. I can see in every direction at once. Oh no! It's I wanted to stay that way.
That would sound pretty cool.
I don't know why I'm getting it whenever you warp, man, but no.
Because you're obviously conjoined now that the two ships are together.
Yeah. I guess I've got to go outside.
Like entangled particles type thing.
So there you go, and so maybe two people with single personality in order will want to will want to become conjoined twins.
Yep.
I think
I'm heading up to
that
you.
sounds a bit close.
So in order not to kill you, don't try to fly into the ship already.
Hang on. Mia's got to park it first. I would advise standing well back while Mia just parks it.
Why are we parking?
Well, I don't know.
I'm here.
It would be
That's what
cool,
he
but
does.
fine, I'm stopping. You can try to get into the seat while I set up the jump drive.
Okay.
I'm starting to think I maybe should have waited to, until no one else was on the server and it was running smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do this right now. Also, you can't use the puddle jump as long as they're not there.
Oh, if no one else was on, I would have just flown it. Just set it in the direction and then come back 10 minutes later.
Are you sure that's how you usually crash into asteroids?
I aim off to the side. And I do maths to make sure the minimum possible time, and I get back before that. Oh, there we go. I am a fly. The fly is me.
I know.
Oh, wow. I can look in every direction at this field of view. Oh, it's over.
Mira's going to move, so stay in your seat until Mira's finished parking.
I think you're suffering flashbacks, Boris.
Thanks to Mia, I made it to my destination. Here is an asteroid that is roughly halfway, about 75k from Mongolia and about 80k from New Vegas on the moon. Sorry, the mean. And this asteroid, which, by the way, is not natural. We decided that we were going to spawn an asteroid in here. It's not something I would normally do. It's just that asteroids are so far away, and without the stability of a ship, so I can't have just a ship hovering here because we wouldn't be able to attach anything to it, and we need a voxel with which to attach a station. So preferably I would have liked to have built a ship here, giant big, but that's not possible. So we agreed we'd bend the rules a little bit and plop down an asteroid in here, simply because all the other asteroids are, even up to 100k away before you find them. There aren't any between the Earth and the Moon. So we just plopped this one down. The seed is Nidd tuber. I just typed that in, clicked generate, and went with it. So it's a little less cheaty than picking a good one, although up here are two circles, and I'll do a side-by-side comparison. Apple thinks that this asteroid, with those two circles as eyes, looks like the character Sloth from the Goonies. I'll have it on the right side of the screen to compare it. So this new location is going to be called Sloth, or Sloth. I call it by either. Same with scone and scone. I don't have a preference. I just switch between them. I essentially just match the person I'm talking to so that they don't feel, uncomfortable by someone saying a word in a different way. I do that quite often. I'll match depending, regional variants. If I'm with Americans, then I'll tend to use the American equivalent of words, that kind of thing. So this is Sloth or Sloth. This is the new place. The purpose of this is I'm going to build another station on here. It's going to be my own little build, although I have a feeling it's not necessarily going to be so little. I'm hoping to have maybe, I guess like a warehouse. Not a warehouse, but a manufacturing plant. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, because the whole 3D printer kind of idea, where you've got pistons on with welders on the end, and you move them around in order to just print a blueprint, kind of works with small ships, but even still, I really don't trust having anything on the end of a piston. Rotors don't seem to be too bad, and I might use rotors in this design, although we'll get to that at a later point. First things first, though, I'm going to set up a little temporary platform with all of the things that I need, and then I think the next thing we'll do after that is to test out a couple of the ideas that I've got using advanced rotors in order to create some very large doors to go on top of a warehouse-looking thing, like a large hangar. Hangar's probably the better word, with an opening roof, so kind of roof doors. Are they a thing? And I'll test out a couple of ideas before I build the entire thing, just to make sure it works on multiplayer, and I'll show that when I get to it. It has been about 2 weeks since the first half of this video. That wasn't intentional. Firstly, I was interrupted by Sal's 24-hour stream. That's probably going to be coming out on a YouTube channel just in increments, because that's how Sal does stuff. She puts everything out, although it is currently also on her Twitch channel, just to, if you wanted to go through that. That's in that stream is when I did the stuff that I was talking about in the first bit, which I've kind of forgotten about because it was so long ago, but I was doing the experimentation stuff in that. So it's in that stream somewhere. I'm sorry about that, but we'll move on to the next bit. I also was interrupted by discovering that there is now a way to get free iron. I did do a little video on that, sort of a generic one to be used, not just within the Nidd, but everyone. Obviously, the way to improve it was just to add 3 more grinders to that. There are other ways. In a creative order, I also had them take 3 wheels at a time per side. So and there was another way to double them up so that you could have them both do ones on the top and ones below. And I know there are other ways, including in Anubis' video. Anubis mentioned it in one of his Whitelist episodes. Other people have come up with better solutions as well, but I've left it at this because this, as it is, has a tendency to lag out the server. It's not too bad, especially when I first log in, which is why I'm trying to rush through this, because I want to get to the bit over there, that massive thing. I want to get to that fairly quickly, because I've realized that if I log straight in and do something, there's no lag. Everything runs completely smoothly. If I wait for 3 hours and then try something, that's when the explosions come. And I'm not sure if that's a thing. There seems to be a correlation between bad explosions and time spent on the server for me. So I'm not going to run this now, but I will throw in a quick little VT of when it was particularly laggy one day. Here's a fun little glitchy thing that's happening. This is in the middle of Sal's 24-hour live stream that happened a little while ago when this episode comes out. I just wanted to share with you. This is running terribly at the moment. The server has been running really well, but every now and then when I turn this on, it does very badly. I don't know why. It's only every now and then, and this is one of those times. And when I turn this off, it's going to be a glitch that will make your ears not be ears anymore. So here we go. Wow, this is laggy. Ready for a loud noise? Did I even click that? I don't think I clicked that. I'll try again. There we go. Oh, that time it wasn't that loud, but yep, there's stuff everywhere. Oh, that was loud. There we go. That's ow. You can probably pick that up in the microphone from my own headset. So yeah. This machine, ow, every now and then. So yes, that's why I'm not turning it on today, just in case. However, I will show off this. The iron that's come from that went into this, so I have kind of been exploiting that a little bit. I know I shouldn't, but I've definitely got enough iron anyway. It's not as if I've got a shortage of it. I've got like 4,500k or something, and that's just here. There's heaps more down on the planet and up at the mean as well. So to explain what the hell this is, I wanted to make kind of an aircraft hangar style of this dome, not really a dome, but a cylindrical shape, which is inspired by some of Nordic's build. In fact, Nordic has just started recording on the server. By just, I mean about a week ago. He wasn't really playing for the first part, but he's just joined in, and Sal has commissioned him to make a dock. See where New Vegas is? Kind of a little bit to the right of that. To make a dock just on the gravity, outside of the gravity well of the mean, so that you can fly stuff back and forward, both from here and the planet. I actually don't know if anyone knows about this. Mir does, but I've kind of kept it quiet in case it doesn't work. So yeah, his dock up there has a fairly similar shape. It was somewhat inspired by that. What I want to do here is to make the nicest possible place to build, in particular, ships on the server. The size in here will fit the little Tina, and then some, like 1.5 times the little Tina will fit inside of here. And anything kind of larger than that is probably too big for the server. So hopefully this should be able to fit anything that anyone wants to build in terms of ships. The purpose of all of this is to keep it airtight and be able to get the ship out later on. And there are like just making the doorway just a door that slides down and off is actually a bit harder than what I've been doing. What I am doing seems overly complicated and a bit silly, but it is the only way that I've managed to get it to work in multiplayer, and it does work. But I have a feeling as soon as I record this, it's not going to. That's just how these things go. So to explain what happens, this is its normal state. Obviously, it looks nothing like it will do if it ever gets finished, and keep that in mind. This is Space Engineers, and I am Boris. I have a tendency to not finish things. So hopefully I will, and this is not what the end result will look like. But the skirting around the side are all airtight hangar doors to keep the inside pressurized, so there can be a nice little area in there that you can wander around without your helmet on. And the merge blocks on the side are so that the roof can transform into a door. So it'll be a roof 95% of the time, and then when you want to get the thing that's in here out of there, you remove the roof. If you imagine that merge block was to connect to a merge block on this ground here, it wouldn't, because this rotor is on that same grid, and you can't connect what's on the end of the rotor to the same grid as the rotor is on. That's just a limitation of the game, an intentional one, because I remember it used to explode when that didn't happen. When you could, I mean. You used to just merge it and the entire thing would start vibrating and then explode, so it doesn't allow that anymore. So, and also, I don't want to leave anything heavy on the end of a rotor, because it'll have the tendency to vibrate and snap off. And if I have something on the end of the rotor, I won't be able to seal it. So by on the end of the rotor, I mean just any other rotor door. That wouldn't really work here, because you wouldn't be able to seal it. And that's a stipulation that I would like to have. Whereas this way, I can use the airtight hangar doors that can open and close. But when I remove them like this, they then separate the grids. So hopefully that does work. By the way, up in here, I'm going to have to replace these ones with another merge block, like a stalk with merge blocks on it, because there's going to be a gap in there. Although I may have covered it up with that. I don't know yet. The fewer merge blocks, the better. I have things set up now to show you how this works. Obviously, that bit on the end there is a different grid that is trying to attach to the same grid that the rotor is on, so these won't merge. No matter how much you try, they won't merge. However, they are ready to merge. So if this whole thing here suddenly became a different grid to the floor, it would suddenly snap onto that one, which is the aim of turning this merge block off. Once that merge block is off, that will become a different grid and hopefully snap onto that arm with nothing going wrong. I have done this dozens of times. Not exaggerating at all. Dozens of times. It has never gone wrong. So now would be the perfect time for it to go wrong, because I'm recording, obviously. That's how the universe will be thinking anyway. Over here, I have these here. However, this is just to seal it, essentially, these merge blocks. They're not for you working, for splitting the grid. So I have this, and by the way, this will all be on a timer eventually. I'm doing it all manually just to show it off now. I don't want to get too far ahead and suddenly, start the episode with nothing and then, oh no, it's all done. 3 weeks of work, it's all done. So this one has to be off before you start, and this is just a general tip. I was surprised to find out that a great deal of viewers don't actually play this game, either don't want to or can't, because obviously this game is very taxing on a system, especially since now DX9 and Windows XP. Not that XP is a big deal in that. I very much doubt there's many people watching this that are still using that, but the DX9 is. There will be a fair few systems that don't support that, and even ones that do support DX11, running planets is probably too much. And if your computer can't support DX11, I would recommend getting a refund now, and you should be able to. I haven't looked that up, but if you can't, then that's a very bad development company. They should offer you a refund if you can no longer run the game. And if they don't, then demand it. Anyway, what I was saying is that I was a bit surprised to find out just how many people who watch both my videos and the other Nidd tubers who don't actually play Space Engineers and don't necessarily know the minutiae, or perhaps you're a new player, that kind of thing. Not that I'm in any way an expert player, but one bit of wisdom that I can share with you, particularly on a multiplayer server, is never attempt to merge two blocks, like two separate sets of merge blocks at the same time. Only ever do one at a time. If I were to attempt to merge down both that set and that set, join them at the same time, they would just explode and the entire thing would drift off into nothingness. So that would be off well before I attempt to move any of this. So here goes nothing. Let's see what goes wrong. So watch this one here. It should turn off, and then these should hopefully go green, and then attach to that door. I'm worried about bouncing. It's likely to fling back, or perhaps go down and blow the two merge blocks off. So they're the things that I'm expecting to happen, and I wonder if it will. Here we go. So it's off. It'll take a little bit to update. Snapped on. Here comes the bounce. Okay, it looks like the merge block at the other end has exploded. I'll have to work on that. Obviously this would all be automated. Is the rotor going to catch it and bring it back, or is it going to glitch out again? Rotors are a particularly glitchy thing. Every now and then they just don't work. If you watch Anubis' video, you'll know that his hangar door, the dong door, just doesn't want to go up. It takes forever to get it to go up. And this happens every now and then to these rotors as well. Sometimes they just don't go up. And this is what it looks like is happening now. I will set up the other one, the door on the other side, just to see if that's going to have the same problem. Because it looks like that rotor's just not going up, and it definitely can lift that weight. So I'll just quickly do this one. Okay, here we go. Popped up. And now I'm pretending that I'm a timer block. Which way did I just reverse that? Nope, right way. So this one's working. See, it's fine. Lifts it up fine. It's going slowly because I don't want anything to go wrong, but this one just won't lift up. And the next time I log in, perhaps this one will work and this one won't. I have no idea why. Occasionally they both work, sometimes neither work, occasionally only one works. So that's going to be a pain. Hopefully that's something that is fixed in an upcoming update, so that by the time I finish this, they will always work as I want them to. Although even if this door is closed, you should still be able to fly out. There will be enough room. But this is what it looks like. And see, this one all went off without a hitch. Merge blocks are intact. Over here, this merge block is not intact. It caused a bit of damage. That's something that I'll hopefully have to work on. See if you can come up with a better way of getting the entire roof to come off and then come back on. The safest way would be to have like a little tug ship that would come in and just lift it off. That would be the safest thing, but I'd like to automate it. The problem is that multiplayer makes these designs difficult. In fact, living with merge blocks exploding every now and then is something that I'm probably just going to have to do. Is no matter the design, no matter what design you find on the workshop or any other YouTubers do, they all explode in multiplayer. It's just a fact of life. So I'm going to put this one back down now and see what explosions occur. Alright, that's bouncing a little bit, but it closed without explosions. I'm just going to turn this one on down here, B1 floor, so it comes on. However, this is another example. I wouldn't attempt to attach both of these at the same time, and this is going to make the timer block system a little bit more complicated. I'm going to have quite a few of them actually to do all of this, because I will have to program in delays between certain things happening to account first for server lag and just generally waiting for the game to calculate stuff. Because you'll see when I pop off this one, it's going to take a little bit for the game to work out where everything goes. So I'm going to have to incorporate that into the timer blocks to make sure I have the delay, and also to make sure that at no point do two merge blocks ever attempt to work at once, never attempt to connect. So, for example, in this one, I wouldn't set both arms to disconnect at once, because they will both be connecting down and you'll just have explosions. So we'll work on the A side first. So floor, so we will turn the arm off. So that's that one up there. It'll separate, and hopefully these two will then join without explosions. This is like an unexploded bomb. It's not something that you want to walk up to. Is this connected? And I'm just not seeing it? I knew I waited too long to do this stuff on the server. If I did this straight away... Oh, there we go. There we go. It worked it out. We'll do the other side now. B1 arm. That merge block's on. So turn this off. Okay, it's popped off. It's going to take a little last. I guess maybe that arm is actually in the road. So perhaps if we move it out of the way, then it'll snap into place. Yeah, I think the arm's just in the road. So that makes it a little bit easier. So as long as that arm gets out of the road fast enough and isn't in the way of those grids, it'll snap down reasonably quickly. I will leave a fair amount of time though, and at this point we can then close all those hangar doors and it will become a sealed room. At least that's the theory. I'm sure there will be a few spanners in the works in between now and then. So, that's what I've done so far. Hopefully this continues to kind of work. That kind of worked. I would say that's about maybe a 70% success rate. One merge block to redo. And then at the end of that, the last step would be for it to lock down those and then turn on the pressurization system. That's a horrible word, isn't it? Any word ending with ization, that you just don't use them. There are better words. So I think I'm going to leave it here for this episode. It's going to be a bit shorter and a bit disjointed. But that brings me on to a slightly sadder point, I guess. And this is... I actually recorded a long episode about this, but I'm not going to release it because it was a bit too personal and a little bit too melodramatic for this channel. My life has not been treating me well, I think it's fair to say. The last 7-8 months have really been terrible. I don't think that's an exaggeration. So it's been everything from being made redundant from my job and not really having any prospects. I'm now back at square one and have no idea where to go, which means I don't have any money, which has linked up with, I guess, financial crises of the two generations above me. Both my parents and my grandparents also have had financial difficulties for different reasons. Both of my parents have been dreadfully sick. My father has Q fever. My mother had a stroke back in November. She's better now. November 2015 for people watching in the future. And just as she was getting over that, she has now caught Ross River fever, which isn't too bad, but it's not what a recovering stroke victim needs. To add to that, my grandfather's Parkinson's has gotten significantly worse, and I'm having to look after him a fair amount to give my grandmother a break. And then, just because, the universe has decided if one thing goes wrong, then everything needs to go wrong, I lost a very dear friend, probably the closest friend I've ever had. And yeah, I don't want to talk about that anymore, but essentially everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, and it's left me in a state where I don't think I'm enjoying YouTubing very much, or at least I'm not making good stuff. You may have picked up on it, because I definitely have, watching back stuff that I've made over the past few months, and there's a sense of just general despair to it, which does not make it interesting to watch. And just purely from a what is better to watch perspective, I think I need to kind of clear my head a bit. You will notice that I've not uploaded much of anything, and that's because I'm just going to focus on editing and get the backlog of stuff I've got just ready to go up, and not record as much. Just wait until I'm in a better state of mind and not, so stressed out about the fact that I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to pay the rent tomorrow. That kind of thing. It's not the best state of mind to be in to do funny, light-hearted, silly stuff. You'll see a difference between, say, the start of the Season 2 Whitelist server and all the ones I've recorded on this. Things are just more downbeat and not really what I want. And thankfully in collaborations you don't notice it as much because there are people to kind of pick up the slack because everyone else here is just so good at doing what they're doing, so it makes it significantly easier if I'm not pitching in as much. But yeah, so if there is a bit of a lack of stuff on this channel for the next few weeks, that's why. It's because I'm not in the best place, and if I'm not in the best place, in the best frame of mind, then I can't make entertaining things. So I'm sorry about that, and I'm sorry about these kind of lackluster episodes. Hopefully, in a few weeks, we'll be back to a better place, both my frame of mind and the episodes themselves. So thank you for watching this, and goodbye.